Hello everyone, ICNL Nasty here. That's not even my name. That's not even my name. Hello everyone, let's try that again. Hello everyone, ICNL. Whoa, am I tripping? Yo, am I tripping? Alright, run this back for the third time over. Hey, how's it going? ICNL Trades here. Today I have a trading recap video. Today I traded the S&P 500, ticker symbol SPY if you don't know. There's a few things I want to go over. I want to go over my pre-market analysis and then also my entry and the trade itself. So, might be a little bit of a long video, but just stick with me. It's also the first video, so shout out to the first viewers that are here right now. So let's get to it. Alright, so right now on my screen there's just a lot of noise going on, so I'm just going to delete all of it for you guys so we can just start from the beginning of how I built this trade. Alright, so first I want to jump on the 1 hour and 4 hour time frame. This is where I do most of my pre-market analysis, marking lows and highs for the day. So I started off by marking, hold on, where is it? Right here. This low, this low, this low, this high, and this is all in the 1 hour time frame, and these highs over here for price to target today. And this is all done around, maybe I want to say between the hours of 8 and 12 o'clock yesterday on the 31st of March. So just for a time frame if you're watching this on a later date. Alright, so we have our lows and highs made. Next thing I did was I started marking out fair value gaps. So fair value gaps, to do that I used the rectangle tool. I went back on the day before and marked this 1 hour fair value gap right here, like so. Let me see if there's any more that I marked. I ended up marking this fair value gap as well. And this fair value gap down here as well. But I will do that one on the 4 hour time frame because I think it was a bigger gap on the 4 hour time frame. Like so. So right now we have our fair value gaps. So yesterday all I had was my fair value gaps done in my lows and highs. So I also ended up doing this is kind of weird for me. I don't ever usually do this, but I used the polyline tool and ended up doing a short formed W pattern, marking those out. I was aiming for something like this. This was my original analysis, and it ended up, as you can see, playing out like this, but we'll get to that later on. But my original analysis was going to come back down into this fair value gap overnight, and then market open will rise, challenging this hour fair value gap right here. So yeah, let's drop down to the trade now. So yeah, this was my pre-market analysis. So let's drop down to the actual trade now. So we'll go to the 5 minute and 1 minute time frames to do this. So hold up, I might be tweaking. Let me make sure I have everything I had. I'm gonna put these here just cause I had these when I was doing this last night, but these didn't really matter. These didn't matter and didn't get challenged. So I have a day. I put a day fair value gap right here, thinking if price was really gonna run, it was going to break past this 200-day moving average and then challenging this day fair value gap. But obviously it did not. But let's get back to the actual trade itself that I took. I did end up losing on this trade. I ended up losing $179, 25% of the total value of the trade I took itself. So let me mark that out. I just need to get the time frame. So let me just get to that real quick for you guys. All right, where the frick is Weeble? All right, so at 9:33 market opens. Big mistake there. Sorry. So at 9:30 market opens and we see price heading towards this 1 hour fair value gap that we made in the pre-market or even aftermarket of yesterday. And here I think, okay, it's going to challenge this and now it's going to go long and we're going to get calls, right? And I end up buying in on a call for $370 and risking 25% of my of that amount. And we see price go back up and reject it twice and go back up, and I was just waiting for it to go long. I made the mistake of honestly holding too long, but at the same time I really didn't, because as we see later on, price did end up running for the rest of the for not the rest of the day, but for the majority of the day, and at least until 12:20 or near halftime. 12:50 is halftime, by the way. But yeah, this was my trade. I really should have respected my analysis, but I didn't want to lose too much by holding it for too long, so I took that 25% loss and just decided to exit the trade there, taking a $179 loss on that trade. But I mean, in the future, I do know a few things going into it. I now know to trust your analysis, guys. Trust what you do in pre-market and aftermarket and the time leading up to the trade. It most times is most likely right, and I'm starting to learn that, which is cool. But I mean, let's see how much I could have made if I would have just soaked it and stayed in the trade. Let's move this over here. And let's not keep, so yeah, let's keep that there. So yeah, I mean, this trade has a lot of potential. It had a lot of potential. The setup was there. I'll also post my due diligence because, I mean, I'll just show you guys right here. But I write everything down before I even think about getting into a trade, just to make sure I know what I'm doing is correct personally. But so we see a 4.75 risk ratio. I risked 370. If I would have just held and challenged my own stop loss, we would have made 4.75, $1,757. That is insane on this trade. And remember, this is all possible just due to some simple pre-market analysis and due diligence. Simple as that. This was all possible due to due diligence. The real trade was, down here, we moved this here. So even the inverted pattern was still correct. All that stuff matters. It all works. Trust yourself. Trust the process. I mean, later on, the trade did fall, so you wouldn't want to stay in this trade for too long. But I mean, that return right there, as we saw, is insane. Like, imagine making 1,757 in one day. But I mean, in hindsight, though, respecting the stop loss allowed me to only lose 179 versus losing the full 370 if it didn't go back up. So, I mean, again, let's go back to a smaller time frame. All this before I exited at 10:21 was unforeseen. So you wouldn't have known. So it just takes a bit of risk, of course, some and some strong due diligence, and you can make these kind of trades, and it's very, very possible. I don't see why not. I don't see why we all can't do it. But let me see if there's anything else to cover. But yeah, I mean, last thing I want to cover, I mean, we see price reject our 1 hour fair value gap that we made in the pre-market, or not pre-market, aftermarket of yesterday. We see price reject there, and then now we see it falling for the rest of the day. Really, I don't think it's going to go back up much more, if that at all. But this was my trade today. I lost on the S&P 500, but I hope to make these more consistent and start getting more content out to you guys, and just start pushing content on you guys, whether you like it or not, honestly. Yeah, straight up, I'm just gonna push content on you, and hopefully you learn how to trade. I'm gonna start doing some aftermarket and pre-market analysis videos as well, to maybe even get you guys ready for your trading day and help you guys out. Again, I'm not a professional. I am just starting out myself. I'm about a year in learning. I read the Candlestick Bible is a very good book to start. Watched a few YouTube videos. I'll have a little, how to get started video eventually on my channel. How to really get into trading and how to find your path. But for the most part, this was my trade today. I lost, sadly, but as you can see, the analysis was correct. We did reject the areas I was assuming. But yeah, this was my trade. Good luck to y'all that are trading, and those that are learning to trade. Follow me, and if you aren't following me, just go ahead and follow me. We'll have more content out to you guys, and good luck, traders. Peace.